Everybody, Earl at thelogbook.com. Welcome back to Infinite Sheep. Some more tales from the analog TV trenches. And boy, have I got a tale for you today. A tale that I didn't anticipate telling when I woke up this morning. But then I jogged my memory, got some synapses firing that hadn't fired in 30 years. And here we are with this crazy story. And then I found some more supporting information. And this is quite a tale. This is quite a tale. I have only one very brief spot to show you today. Well, maybe a couple. Let's start with sometime in, I'm going to say 96. If you were in the Fort Smith market, if you were watching KFDF, which was at that point the United Paramount Network affiliate.
You're watching KFDF TV, UPN 3236, Fort Smith, Fayetteville.
Thank you, much younger sounding, pitched up me. That was an example of a legal ID on that station. But it didn't start out that way. Now, if you've been watching any of my previous Infinite Sheep videos where I was playing back chunks of a VHS tape that I recorded for some reason on an overnight board shift at work at KPBI, KFDF, owned by the same people, operated out of the same space, then you remember that there were signs of a baby TV station taking form, and that it was expected to be called Sports 32, hence this much earlier legal ID from the spring of 1995.
Fort Smith's newest local television station, KFDF Sports 32.
Oh my gosh, that was woeful. All the hue and gamma shifts in that, which I think we're down to switching in and out of frame store, out of still store grabs, those kill me. That was terrible. I definitely have thoughts about the hand-drawn background artwork, which, what was that supposed to be? The moon over Crater Lake? I have no idea. But the only similar thing between the two are hexagons, which are the future, and Alan Parsons Project music. Now, the story behind sports TV was that it was always hoped that it would become the UPN station, but it would not be signing on in time to sign on the first night of UPN. But the idea always was, this will someday be the UPN station, and so find something to play off of the geometric nature of the UPN station, which is how you wound up with this guy over here. Oh no, not over here, over here. Man, it's like I've never done weather on air before. You wound up with the hexagon, which went well with the circle and the triangle and the square that UPN had chosen as their logo. And of course, they had 3D versions of it that turned those into a sphere and a pyramid and a cube. Cool. Anyway, we were playing off the geometric thing even before we were making any noise about being a UPN affiliate. But there was a plan B. In addition to whatever sporting events our station management could buy carriage for cheaply, in syndication, we were going to be an affiliate of Network One. Now, I probably need to explain what in the hell Network One is. And this is the part that I did not remember this morning when I woke up. I remembered some of the programming that was on it. I remember there were music videos. I remember there were replays of Night Flight. Remember Night Flight from USA Network in the late 80s and early 90s. Well, yeah. Yeah, Night Flight was very much a creature of the 80s. Of course, now Night Flight has its own streaming service. Network One was carrying reruns of Night Flight. It was carrying a few sports things, but not mainstream sports. A lot of music video shows other than Night Flight that they produced themselves. And a lot of weird stuff like bikini contests, wet t-shirt contests. It was like right on the edge of what you could decently put on the airwaves in 1995. But it was trying to position itself as a network that would need affiliates. Another thing that it carried, and I think this is where our station manager, our station owner bought into the idea that this could be our affiliation, was they did carry old westerns. Old TV show westerns, old movie westerns, you name it. So the idea was that for most of the time, because keep in mind, even once we signed on with UPN was only programming 2 hours on 2 weeknights. Something would have to fill the rest of the schedule. I do know we eventually got the Disney afternoon block because I remember running Gargoyles on KFDF. And I do know we did carry some syndicated sports, but N1 was kind of the backup plan. And I'm not sure how good a backup plan it was. To really get into the other main feature on the landscape of Network One was that virtually all of the advertising was like 900 numbers. It was like phone sex lines. All day and all night. Little bit weird. But let's dig into why, because I think I found out why. Thankfully, at the very dawn of archive.org's Wayback Machine, they did one crawl of the Network One website while it was still live and operational. So this was sometime in 96, I think. Network One Television, the nation's programming service. Receiving Network One, Satcom C1, Transponder 11. I'm trying to remember, was that even C-band or was that KU band? Because Network One feels very, very KU band to me. List of affiliates is kind of surprising. They did talk local stations into carrying them. And to my amazement, it's kind of funny because they're playing some really interesting games here with what market they are claiming to be in, and then in parentheses where the city of license for that transmitter or that cable company actually is. So, oh yeah, we're in the Atlantic market, Norcross, Roswell. Oh yeah, we're in the Albany market, Valdosta, Queensbury. You can see the game they're playing there. Fort Smith, Arkansas. Wait, that was us, but that's not us. Apparently, it was on the Siloam Springs cable lineup on Channel 4. The Siloam Springs, you couldn't receive that in Fort Smith. Siloam Springs is a whole mountain range away, which is why everything around here has to have 2 transmitters. And so what really amuses me, 3 affiliates in Salt Lake City. Yeah, they love those wet t-shirt contests in Salt Lake City, I'm telling you. General information. Okay, let's read their manifesto here for Network One Television. Network One is the alternative to everyday television, presenting an innovative approach to accommodate today's diverse viewing audience. Network One offers a unique brand of TV delivered in distinct day-part blocks that feature an engaging mix of music, movies, family-oriented series, eclectic half-hour shows, campy feature films, sports programming, and outdoor and leisure fare. Okay, Network One, a division of Satellite Entertainment Networks Incorporated, is the offspring of Network Telephone Services Incorporated, one of the world's largest and most successful interactive telecommunications organizations. Okay, so here's the thing. Remember how the whole advertising spread was all 900 numbers? Their parent company owned those numbers. This was an attempt to find another way to advertise those. And here's the key. The future is now with Network One, a 24-hour broadcast and cable satellite network, leading the way with advertiser-supported programming and progressive affiliate compensation packages. In other words, they have all the ad time on this. They will pay you if they get business from your market from their 900 numbers. Here's the part that I'm glad I didn't see back in 95, 96, 97. Jobs. They were looking for an online editor. But they were also looking for a graphics designer who should be familiar with Lightwave 3D. Hello, that would be me. Running on Windows NT and the Amiga platform. Hello, video toaster guy here. You should also have a good working knowledge of the video toaster, Adobe Photoshop or equivalent, and internet utilities. This position is full-time, has flexible hours, is based in Woodland Hills, California. The real kicker for me would have been, you should be a resident of Southern California, as we do not provide relocation fees. So they were based in LA, basically, and yeah, I think that was the secret of Network One, is that they were advertising their own thing. I do remember that it was a real uphill climb to get the local cable companies to carry KFDF as a UPN affiliate. Because really, at the time, UPN's only killer app, so to speak, was Star Trek Voyager. And we had to mount a pressure campaign. Hey, viewers, you want to see this on cable? Call your cable operator. Demand it. I think back now to how much more difficult the fight to get cable carriage would have been if we were affiliated with this thing that was wall-to-wall 900 number ads. And it boggles the mind. It really does. That anybody thought this was going to be a good idea. I don't think we ever signed on with Network One. I think we signed on with Nostalgia TV or something, and a lot of syndicated stuff, and a lot of stuff that technically was syndicated to KPBI, the Fox affiliate, but we just quietly gave it extra runs on KFDF. Whether or not we told the syndicators about that, I have no idea, but there you go. So, yeah, what a story. All the synapses, all of the memories of this entity that apparently went under in 1997, so probably a good thing not to get in bed with them, especially after all those 900 number ads. Who knows what you would catch from getting in bed with them. Bullet dodged, I think. That's kind of my instinct now, because it was the 90s. We were in the buckle of the Bible Belt. I feel like this would have mitigated heavily against us trying to get on the local cable lineups. And so we weren't UPN when we launched. We became UPN that summer. But that's a whole different story for another time, and we'll get to that next time, because as usual, there's a story there too.